2020 from a Mr. Carroll Davis Jr. He lives at 205 Bermuda Drive. I'd like to read this letter, and it is highlighting some of our public works guys and a job that they did over there. It says, Dear Mayor Wyndham, I would like to thank the following people for their help in removing sand from my driveway that was caused by the heavy rain that we had on the morning of the 23rd of April. Antonio Washington, Jonas Evans, Edwin Parker, and Xavier McCraw. The above City of Pearl employees not only worked hard, but they kept a smile on their faces as we worked together to remove the sand. Having city employees like these is one of the reasons that I love Pearl so much. Being 71 years old, I could not have removed all the sand by myself, as I had over 6 inches of sand from the golf course covering my whole driveway. I appreciate all that the city does for their citizens. Thank you very much. Sincerely, Carroll Davis. Just want to make sure that we pointed out those city employees. We're going to move into the second portion of acknowledgments tonight. At this time, if I could have Mr. Robert Killingsworth, if he could come forward to the podium. Also, I'd like to have the Public Works Director, Shane Burrell, come forward. Let's go out here, Robert. I want everybody to see. We're presenting Robert tonight as the Employee of the Month, Robert Killingsworth from the City of Pearl. You know, I'm going to have something to say, but I'm going to let Shane say something. But I think that everybody knows the type of work that Robert does throughout the city. You might see him on one end of the city, in every district he does an enormous amount of work, shows a tremendous amount of heart for our citizens. And man, with all this hard work that we've seen that you do over a period of time, man, we're just so grateful for what you do for us. And we'd love to have Tim work just like it. Congratulations, Jay.
Well, we started this employee of the month thing with Public Works this year. What we do is we take it all of our superintendents. That city superintendents kind of pitch in and give a name, your name come up with everyone. And they voted for you, but they will employ the month. When Mr. Roberts is working for me, he works his tail off, and he handles all the prison inmates. And in the last few months, we haven't had any prison inmates. And he stepped up to the plate, doing whatever it takes, whether it's in the ditches itself, doing a whole lot. He's always on emergency. Y'all see him out running when we have floods and storms. He goes above and beyond on all of his peers voted him in. We thank you. Thank you for all the hard work you do.
It means a lot to me, Steve Pearl, and the citizens of City of Pearl. I take it by heart to make sure we take care of it. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert. Right now, we have our Executive Director of our Chamber, Kathy. She has some gifts here for the City of Pearl Employee of the Month.
Congratulations. This is a wonderful program. And this is the basket from KJ's Food One. And I sent your basements. Thank you. So I have this picture here. If you don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Mail in the bird down in High School about 6 weeks ago. We thought you was the only employee we had. He said he was the only one who worked in the city.
Thanks, Kim. We couldn't do it without you, man.
Approval of consent agenda items. All items under this heading will be considered to be approved with one motion and one vote. If further discussion is desired on any item, it will automatically be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered a general business item.
Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Second.
Moved. We have first and second motion.
Who made the first motion? I just seconded it.
Alderman Floyd.
Okay.
All right, you have that noted? All right, with item 7 being removed, we'll just pull that over to general business. At that time, we have all in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it. Moving on to public hearing.
Number 1, consider request by Eddie Manning to rezone 102 XL Drive from general commercial C2 to warehouse district.
Essentially, Mr. Manning, the existing business has remained in the same structure on Excel, Mr. Manning's property. So it's been a non-conforming use. And so basically what it is being rezoned into, now it'll fit its proper zoning, and that's the warehouse district. And we're not just not doing Mr. Manning's, it's that him and the parcels around him that will, no, excuse me, Mr. Manning's. We're amending the land use map potentially next, but for now it's rezoning Mr. Manning's, which will go from C2 to warehouse, which will take out the non-conforming use and will make it now a conforming use because they'll be zoned properly.
Any questions, gentlemen?
Now, spot zoning though on this, is this to match what is existing?
It is not, because there's other parcels around it. And CMPDD has obviously, they worked with our land use map and they gave us the comp plan this past year, and they're working on our zoning now. And Wade with CMPDD has reviewed, and it's at his recommendation as well.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Second. All right, we have 2 motions on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to the second portion of the public hearing.
Consider amendments to the land use map.
And this is in the same vein. This is where the land use map on the same side of the road where Mr. Manning's property is. It would go to an high intensity commercial, which is more fitting to the area and consistent with the property around it. Again, Dave Wade with CDD has reviewed and recommended the amendment.
Is that gonna take anybody out of compliance over there in that area for that land use map? Is it gonna make anybody out of a zoned area?
No, not that I'm aware. I think it'd be more so it's going to put people in the right
Okay.
character as opposed to what it is right now.
I make a motion, we approve it.
Is there a second? Second. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it.
General business. Number 1, order to adopt the fee schedule for the city of Pearl, Mississippi.
So Mike, you pull this off, so there's obviously some discussion that you want to point out.
I think we need to postpone this because people been out of work, business is shut down. This is gonna put a burden on a lot of people, businesses and residential alike.
How's it going to put a burden on it?
You want me to address?
We adopted it.
So essentially, the fee schedule was adopted last meeting. Only thing this is doing is adding, that was highlighted amendments. Water Department, Aletha had the opportunity to review further and saw that there were a few items missing. That's the only amendment that's being added, is putting the proper items back onto the fee schedule. The fee schedule was adopted last meeting.
So it's already in effect.
The fee schedule is, yes, sir. The thing that is added is, I think, the 4 or 5 items that were highlighted at the direction of the Water Department head that were essentially missed at the first adoption. Because again, with the new ordinances that went into effect 2 weeks ago, all the fee schedules referenced throughout the ordinances. So the fee schedule is the controlling fee schedule for the entire city. So all this is updating the fee schedule that was previously adopted in adding these few items.
But nobody besides me thinks this is gonna put a burden on people since they've been out of work. Their businesses shut down.
Mike, most of these fees, some of them are 20 years old.
Yeah.
The CPI hadn't caught up with it. I mean, it's the price of doing business. It actually puts shortfalls on the city itself, and this is not exorbitant prices compared to cities that are around us either. I mean, we took this into consideration from other cities, the fee schedules.
But we've been in the situation we've been in nationwide, this is gonna put a burden on our people right there for.
Again, the fee schedule was adopted 2 weeks ago. The only thing that's being added is the meter administrative fee, existing sewer tap before it. This is for a new sewer tap on certain diameter, and the annual inspection fee for the taps and the meter installation. That's the only thing that's being addressed in the fee schedule that's being added. Because the other fees are just necessary fees in the course of doing business in the city.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Look, I think that everybody on this board, there's so many people throughout the city. We've recently just lost a man that, you know, if you want to talk about him, he probably didn't have any enemies at all. Jerry Williams was just such a great guy. Everybody loved him, and the Lord saw fit to take him home. We're certainly going to miss him, but in honor of Jerry Williams' memory tonight, I would like for somebody to make a motion to adjourn to honor him. All right. You know, I think that all these motions coming out, everybody on this board knows him, and everybody, I don't know how many people throughout the city know Jerry, but he's been a blessing to so many folks. So with two motions on the floor, to dismiss this board meeting in honor and adjourn in the memory of Jerry Williams, all in favor?
Aye.
Did they freeze?
I was gonna say, they flew like they froze up. I see all y'all moving down here on the bottom.
Yeah, they froze up.
I guess we adjourned, so, I mean, did he have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.